Now it's time for our segment on interesting but little known facts about Montgomery County. You might be surprised about your county's past in a segment that we call History Bits. In the infamous 1930s, America was prey to many legendary gangsters and criminals. Driven by the Great Depression and the constitutional prohibition of alcohol, the Midwest was terrorized by the likes of Bonnie and Clyde and Ma Barker and her gang. The big cities like Chicago were overrun by mobsters like Al Scarface Capone. But did you know that Dayton has a history with this notorious period in American history? It's true.
You had a fellow by the name of John Dillinger who had served time in the Indiana State Penitentiary for strong-arm robbery. He was there for 9 years. He was released in 1933, early 1933. But while he was in the prison in Indiana, he developed a gang and began a series of strong-arm robberies, hold-ups, bank robberies in Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, and a few other states. He was making periodic visits to Dayton to a girlfriend that he had here by the name of Mary Longnecker. Mary Longnecker was the sister of a cellmate of his when he was in the Indiana State Prison. He would visit her at 324 West 1st Street, which was a boarding house on occasion, and he was also corresponding by mail. What happened is the landlady who ran the boarding house realized who was corresponding with Mary Longnecker, and she was intercepting the mail and providing it to the Dayton Police Department. So the Dayton Police Department, the detective section, knew exactly when he was coming to town. And in fact, in September of 1933, he visited Dayton. Dayton police detectives, Sergeant Charles Gross and Russell Fowle, were well aware that he was going to be in town, and so they conducted a stakeout outside 324 West 1st Street. And they raided it. These are the handcuffs that were placed on John Dillinger by Detective Sergeant Charles Gross when he was arrested at the boarding house on September 22nd, 1933. He was transported to the old City of Dayton jail on Ford Street, and he was placed in that facility, and the place was surrounded by Dayton police officers with Thompson submachine guns because they were afraid the gang would come and try to break him out. They held him for a few days and then decided to transport him to Bluffton, Indiana by way of Lima, Ohio. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies conducted the transport. They got him to Allen County. Once he was incarcerated there, he was left in the custody of the Allen County Sheriff. And unfortunately, what happened was the gang came to that location, broke Dillinger out of that jail, and killed the Allen County Sheriff, at which point he went again on another robbery spree. He was named public enemy #1 by J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the Justice Department at that time, before it became the FBI. And there was a manhunt nationwide for Dillinger. He ended up in Chicago meeting another girlfriend that he had there, and she's been commonly referred to as the Lady in Red. She, in fact, was working with the Justice Department agents. They made arrangements for her to escort him to a movie theater in downtown Chicago, which is exactly what happened. And while there, the officers tried to take him into custody. He tried to escape, and he was shot dead and killed.